Hey guys, I hope you're all having a great day. I'm coming to you today from one of my favorite places on the planet, Pigeon Forge, Tennessee. And I'm trying to get a little bit of nature in before I start my day. I have a couple of meetings today and just thought I'd sit out here for a little bit as the sun is beginning to pierce through the beautiful trees out here. You hear some chirping, that is nature. We're not that used to it, but again, it's just beautiful out here. I wanted to share a little bit with you, and I know you guys hear me pound on you and the importance of dreaming and the importance of following those dreams and staying true and staying on the path. And I had a very interesting conversation this week. I had the pleasure of visiting an old high school teacher of mine. Not that she's old, it's just that I graduated 100 years ago. Mrs. Yaskin, and she was my cooking teacher in Gables, and she lives in North Carolina. So we thought, I drive over, it's a couple of hours, and we had a great lunch, and then we went over to her house for dessert and just had a great time catching up and reminiscing and speaking as friends, which is such a nice thing to do. If you guys have connection still with some of those old teachers who really had an impact on you, reach out to them. The world is so much smaller now with social media that we can really find a lot of people that we may not have connected with in a while. So, anyway, I had a great time with her. We laughed probably harder than we should have, and we weren't drinking, and it was great, and it was fun, and it was reminiscent, and we were just going back to who we were and who we are now. Got to know each other on a whole different level. Anyway, so she's asking me how Pigeon Forge in Tennessee came to be. There's a lot of talk now, and George and I visited Pigeon Forge 20 years ago. The kids were 10 and 8, and we stayed in a cabin. It was over New Year's, and we just fell in love with Tennessee. We fell in love with the people of Tennessee and the friendliness and the country feel and just the the more stressless pace that there is here. So back then, we decided that one day we were going to buy a cabin in the mountains in Pigeon Forge. So that was, like I said, 20 years ago. We'd come back every winter, come back in the summers too, and it just became a thing. The kids loved it. The kids and I share a lot about the memories that we made here and how fond they are of those memories that they had growing up. So she was asking me how this ended up. So I started with that story, and I said, and when we finally got to the point where we were going to purchase some property here, we found a great realtor, Tia. Hi, Tia. And she there was a gentleman who was selling a couple of properties, and we went to see those, and then he happened to have a third one, and we ended up buying all of our properties from the same gentleman and his wife. Amazing, beautiful people. And, as I'm telling her, I said, and he built the cabins about 20 years ago. And Miss Yaskin said, that's funny. He was building the cabins that you were dreaming about 20 years ago. And we were talking over lunch and we just continued talking. And on my drive back, about an hour and a half into the drive, the enormity, if that's even a word, of what she said hit me like a ton of bricks. And for whatever reason, I was in the car, lost through a national forest, as I tend to do. I couldn't stop crying. I just started crying and crying, and I don't know what came over me, but I think it was a beautiful confirmation from God that if we are faithful to our dreams, and if we are steadfast, and if we are working in the direction of and moving in the direction of, they will come to fruition. And it was so interesting because the way that I thought of it, and I always talk about how the seed of a dream would never be planted in our hearts or in our minds if we didn't already have the ability to achieve them. Whether you give that credit to the universe or to God, I happen to give it to God because I know where it comes from. Um, but everybody has their own way of thinking. Once you've already dreamt that dream, you already have everything that you need to achieve it. And at the time, it may not look like that. But if it's something that really pulls at your heart and something that you know that you need to be doing, and that it will bring you fulfillment and bring you happiness and take you to that next level, stay true to it, people, please. Just be faithful to it. And I promise that the way is going to be faithful to you. So I just really wanted to mention that because it was such a, with as much as I've seen God work, and I've seen things, and I've seen my vision board come alive time and time again, and I talk about it all the time, how sometimes I don't feel worthy, but I these blessings are coming, and I just, even when I was in Africa, I'm seeing acacia tree after acacia tree, and I had seen them in my mind so many times that I thought to myself, I should really be more excited about what I'm seeing here. But I think it became a given that that was going to happen, and it's not that I didn't feel the love that I had for Kenya. It's just that I had been there so many times in my mind that it felt like I expected it. I expected to be there. So, naturally, I'm not going to feel like, wow, I can't believe I'm here. On the contrary, I felt like, yeah, absolutely, I'm here. And that sounds kind of weird, whatever, but I really, and you've heard me talk about expectation. I'm not going to get into it today, but those expectations and those dreams that are planted within us, it's for a reason. Whatever we're going to use to do with our dreams to do good, because it's not about us, it's about what we can bring to the world and the value we can add to those that we know and love, and can serve, um, in ways that no one else can. I just want you to believe it even harder. And if you're at that point, and I know I talked about this last time, at that point where you feel that things are coming at you, that there's not a way, that's when you're closest. So again, I just wanted to mention that. I wanted to thank Missy Askin again for her beautiful words. We had so much fun, and I know we'll do this again. Hopefully, I can get um, Terry and everyone else to come up next time, and maybe we'll make it a big little reunion, if you want to call it that. What, 33 years we should be celebrating. Anyway, I just wanted to mention that, folks, and believe that when you have that dream, it is already under construction for you. Don't worry about the how, but work your asses off and keep moving, and it will happen. Just don't lose sight of what it is that you want, okay? Because it is on its way and it is under construction. So I pray that you have a great rest of the week, and we'll be seeing you soon. Have a good one.